During a standard onboarding cycle, modern enterprise HR systems must process an immense volume of highly sensitive employee information daily. New hires submit a dense package of tax forms, identification records, signed corporate policies, and complex benefits acknowledgments. In legacy workflows, these critical documents arrive as disparate attachments tied to unstructured SharePoint list items with minimal categorization. Moving these files manually creates immediate operational failures. Relying on human routing leads to incorrect folder placement, missing records, and severe privacy risks when data is exposed to the wrong internal permission groups. Manual document handling presents a critical enterprise compliance vulnerability. Securing this data pipeline requires a deterministic architectural solution. The operational upgrade is a defensively engineered Power Automate workflow that automatically captures, sanitizes, and archives these records. The core logic of this system strips away reliance on human input, relying instead on programmatic classification and strict renaming conventions. This flowchart details the macro-level architecture, connecting a basic onboarding list to a controlled document library. The sequence routes files from the verification trigger down to the final source update, applying intelligent metadata, duplicate prevention, and governance protocols to every record. Building enterprise-grade automation requires moving past simple file transfer scripts in favor of a resilient framework layered with specific governance requirements. The automation lifecycle begins at the entry point, where data first hits the system. This snippet outlines the exact logic to initiate the onboarding flow. It triggers only when onboarding status equals verified. A secondary condition requires document processing to be incomplete, preventing infinite loop errors. Using get changes, the architecture detects specific variable updates rather than running blindly. Once triggered, the entire logic flow is wrapped in a try-catch scope, a programmatic safety net that handles errors without crashing the sequence. If an attachment fails initial validation due to wrong file types, excessive file size, or corrupted data, the movement halts instantly. These failed files are not lost. They are immediately logged in a centralized automation log, flagging HR to execute a manual review. Catching exceptions precisely at this ingestion layer guarantees that unverified or corrupted data never pollutes the clean destination library. Allowing new hires to generate their own arbitrary file names creates immediate disorganization and search limitations. As this diagram illustrates, the system extracts static variables directly from the original SharePoint list to build structured data blocks for each file. The exact metadata mapped includes the employee ID, employee name, document category, and the designated confidentiality level. HR staff must explicitly select a document category prior to processing. This manual verification yields higher reliability than depending entirely on automated file name interpretation to guess the contents. Relying on this rigid metadata extraction eliminates the need to put sensitive personal information, like social security numbers or birth dates, directly into the file name. Divorcing the document's identity from its raw user-generated file name is the foundational step required for advanced enterprise search and data governance. In high-volume environments, duplicate records cause audit confusion and rapidly bloat library storage limits. The duplicate prevention framework shown here is designed to intercept redundancies before a save action is ever executed. The system cross-references incoming files against the library using a specific calculated formula. It generates an archive key, a unique deterministic string created by concatenating the employee ID, the precise file name, and the total file size. This visualization shows the back-end logic at work. Two identical files pass through the processor, receiving the exact same alphanumeric string. The system accepts the first file, logs the string, and instantly rejects the second file from entering the library. This archive key prevents repeat processing, securing the library even if the flow triggers multiple times due to transient network issues. Ensuring zero duplicate storage is a hard mathematical requirement for maintaining an accurate and compliant enterprise library. Once sanitized and verified, the file moves to its final destination. This section maps out the destination architecture, detailing a strict folder hierarchy sorted by employee ID and name. The workflow utilizes dynamic folder provisioning. It checks the library for an existing employee folder and seamlessly creates a new one if it is missing. Access is heavily restricted through role-based access control. A dedicated service account executes the file movement, ensuring individual users do not have the credentials to manipulate the broader library. In this visualization, payload security is enforced beyond basic folder permissions. Microsoft Purview sensitivity labels apply specific encryption and access restrictions, dynamically based on the document's metadata profile. The injected retention category metadata dictates the document's complete lifecycle, automatically determining when a record must be archived, deleted, or locked under legal hold. Combining dynamic folder creation with automated Purview labels means regulatory compliance is built in by design, requiring zero manual oversight from HR. This workflow is engineered to handle extreme volume spikes, remaining stable during mass new hire onboarding during global rollouts. Indexed filtering on the SharePoint side ensures that query performance remains lightning fast, even when the library scales to hundreds of thousands of files. Simultaneous batch processing and tight concurrency controls manage the API limits within Power Automate, preventing system throttling. An automation framework is only viable if its underlying architecture maintains strict stability and speed when scaling from 10 users to 10,000. The rich metadata schema applied during ingestion feeds directly into real-time operational telemetry. The system enforces full auditability. Every validation, error, and file transfer leaves an immutable, time-stamped trail. The operational dashboard shown here displays the exact visual output of this telemetry. It captures precise operational metrics, tracking total process document counts, overall success rates, and the exact number of duplicates intercepted. IT and HR leadership utilize these real-time dashboards to identify processing bottlenecks, monitor overall system health, and prove compliance to external auditors on demand. The architectural journey moves a vulnerable, manual attachment process into a secure, organized data foundation that maintains performance as the library expands to enterprise-wide volumes. Operational stability and record management is achieved by standardizing the automation strategy around metadata, defensive logic, and proactive governance.